I was actually the fat little geek. My father had hurt me pretty bad, saying stuff like, boy, you're gonna be twice as fat and twice as lazy as me when you grow up, and that kind of junk. And I made a decision in 5th grade that I was never, ever gonna allow anybody to push me around again. It was only a couple years after that I started boozing. By the time I was in 9th or 10th grade, I was experimenting with drugs. I lost my driver's license while I was in high school just for underage drinking. And the violence. My dad, he was a fighter. And he'd done some very impressive things as he was doing his bar scene, as he was growing up and that kind of stuff. I don't know, I guess I was gonna be twice as bad as he is. And I'm gonna show him, you know what, you can't hold a candle to me. What you did's nothing. Look at your son. You never gave me any recognition. I'm gonna do everything you did, but I'm gonna do it twice as hard and twice as fast. That's the way it was. I mean, I'd go into a party just looking for somebody to fight. That's all I did. I hated myself so bad one day, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I just punched a hole straight through the mirror, straight through the wall. And God was starting to pull on me, saying, hey, something got to get right here. And I said, all right, you know, something's got to straighten out. I admitted myself to rehab at 19 years old. Went through a 28-day session. Started feeling pretty good about myself. Spent a little bit of time with God. He started doing some healing on the inside. I made it 3 months before I started smoking dope again. Drinking, eating a fistful of pills here and there. Anyhow, there was a girl caught my eye, and she ended up becoming my wife. After we got married, it wasn't very long after that, I was running through the channel and come across Cornerstone Television. Jack Van Impe was on there. The Lord started drawing me with this Bible prophecy. So I'd be sitting in my house, smoking dope, just watching, saying, wow, I mean, the Bible said that? That's pretty cool. And this went on for a couple months. I'd go swinging by, and I found somebody really like Rod Parsley. Hey! Screaming and yelling and hooting and hollering, and I'm like, yeah, that intensity, that's what I like. It wasn't long after that I said, you know, this drug stuff got to stop in my life. Finally one night, I got a shower, I stand there talking to God, and I'm sick and tired of trying to do this, and I just went off on him and said, you know what, I quit. I'm done. I'm done trying to quit. Next morning I woke up. I was halfway out the door before I realized I didn't roll up a joint and get high before I was going to work. Lord delivered me that night. Well, that went on good. I was clean for about 18 months. And I just felt led to go to Indian Lake Christian Center, which is a church in the mountains of western Pennsylvania. And the pastor there was Tim Bergen from Cornerstone Television, his place. And I'd seen him before because I'd been watching Cornerstone off and on for years.
Well, it was kind of funny. The first time I met Mike, this long-haired, muscle-bound, tattooed, sleeves cut off kind of guy who basically said, hey, you know, I want to know more about Jesus. I mean, I knew he had a relationship with the Lord, but it's a little rough around the edges, a little not like your normal, what you would classify as a normal church-going folks. There was something special about him. And then Mike disappeared for a while.
I'd only went to church there maybe 2 or 3 times, and my wife at the time, she started back into the drugs. She stopped going to church with me, and it got pretty ugly. I broke down, started smoking dope again. Long story short, at 26 years old, ended up losing a marriage, home, car, everything. I moved back in with my parents. But I spent 6 months down in my basement. I was either watching Christian programming on Cornerstone Television, or I was reading my Bible, or I was praising the Lord. I mean, you know, I've got time to spend with him now. Cleaned me up from the drugs again. Didn't have any desire to drink, smoke dope, nothing. I ended up back at Indian Lake, and Tim was still pastoring. And the Lord brought us together for a reason. Now I had a mentor.
When Mike decided he was going to be sold out to the Lord, what God did was he began to use Mike to reach people just like him. There are a bunch of young men that have come to know Jesus, that their lives have been dramatically turned around. God used Mike to reach his own dad, and his dad was diagnosed with cancer.
So the last year of my father's life, he gave his life to the Lord and made a full 100% commitment. He'd call me over to pray for him, and the Holy Spirit moved on him amazingly. At my dad's funeral, Pastor Tim was there, and there was an altar call, and there were at least 8 or 10 people gave their life to the Lord at my dad's funeral. And through all the junk that I did that I shouldn't have done, the Lord brought a wonderful blessing out of all of it. He brought me a wonderful woman, Tiffany. It wasn't long after that, we became wed.
And we had a wonderful wedding, Mike and Tiffany, after prayer and counseling and rededicating their lives to the Lord. Dedicated their lives together to the Lord. Now, since that time, there's been, one little miracle after another. And Tiffany was a great manager, and God opened the door for her to be working at Cornerstone. And I think she's a real blessing to the ministry.
Christian television, I see the letters and I probably would have never realized as much as it affects people. But now that I'm working at Cornerstone and there's a lot of things that I'm getting involved in, that I see the impact that we have.
Wherever you place your greatest investment in, whether
Because I wasn't the kind of person that somebody would even come up and try to witness to. And all it takes is the Lord to just stop it on that channel. And it's because of people out there giving money to it that people's lives can be touched.